Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we are anything but straight. My name is Space,
I'm Boomstar.
and we welcome you to our episode, which is about what today?
Well, Space, we have an ace in our cards today.
Ooh, pun.
I had to.
Hi there.
Sorry.
So our ace in... I don't know where I was going with that one. I was going to say our ace in the hole, but I didn't want that to sound like sexual, because that's definitely where my mind went for a moment.
Ace is a PG character, sir.
It's funny because
My mind all day long is like 80% in the gutter, 20% clean, and that's just how I always am. But today we have Ace of Hearts Fox as our special guest. And I wanted to welcome you onto our show. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on and being interviewed.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm already having a good time. Even just getting ready for this has been a good time. So I have a good feeling about this. I'm really new to podcasts. I'm really new to it, but you know what? This is going well so far.
What you guys don't know is usually before we actually record, we usually talk and kind of get, acquainted and stuff. So maybe you'll hear some of the stuff that we had like pre-prep recording.
But man, wouldn't that be weird if we hopped in beforehand and you're like, all right, are you ready to do this? And it's just like, yeah.
Wait, we started already? I've actually done that.
Absolutely. Just no, they just don't give you anything back.
Nope.
Just no lubrication. Just go.
Yep.
Just how do you feel about conventions? They're fun.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, do you want to stretch that out a little bit more? No. Okay. Let's go on to the next one.
I just like them a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, luckily now we know what kind of guests to bring on, so we know how to avoid those types of answers and whatnot.
Yeah, bring the crazy ones on. They'll talk.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely. Those are the best kind of guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. This is like the generic, questions that I think anyone would ask. Who you are, where you're from, what kind of stuff do you do in the fandom, all that general stuff.
Yeah. Well, hi there. For those of you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Ace of Hearts Fox. I'm a fursuiter / musician / video person from Southern California. I've been making YouTube videos for, gosh, I don't even know how many years at this point. It's got to be almost 10 years at least. I started making YouTube videos before there was furry YouTube, but yeah, I've been making YouTube videos for a long time, even before furry YouTube was like a thing. It was really fun to just express myself through there. But now I just 5 minutes before recording this podcast was doing a Twitch stream. That's where I am most of the time now. I'm doing Twitch. So I play music over there, and then on YouTube, I do furry stuff, but it's both pretty intersectionally furry. I also, outside of the fandom, play in a band called Nervous Vulpus, which kind of vaguely hints at the fact that I'm a furry, but in a way that nobody could really get it. So it's kind of a nice subtle way to be a furry band that people could recognize as furry if they're furries, but won't have any idea what it is if they're just pulling it up on Spotify or something.
Yeah, for real. I mean, even if you were to go to one of your shows and maybe you're wearing a tail or something, they'd be like, oh, it's totally part of the band. No one would ever suspect that you were a furry.
Oh, yeah.
It specifically said.
If we had some Fox accents on stage, yeah, they wouldn't question it. No.
And then be at the end of the song, by the way, we're furry. Anyways, next song.
So I'll wear jackets with furry patches on it to shows and stuff like that. And it's really cool because I won't even say it. I won't even have to say it at all. And we'll go through the show and people who aren't furries will think it's a totally normal band. But then I've had people at random shows at venues in California walk up to me afterward and recognize either that I have a fursona on my jacket, or they'll notice I'm wearing a convention shirt or something like that, and or I carry my guitar cables in a Bad Dragon backpack.
Nice.
So I just
nice.
It's a good way to keep them from getting stolen. No one wants to be the guy that jacked the Bad Dragon adult toy bag.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's in there.
People ask you oh, that's cool. What does that mean?
No, I feel
it's a really cool dragon transformer.
I feel like I've had someone compliment that bag before, be like, cool bag, but like 90%, like 90% of the time I'll just be like, thanks. But like there's always this special way that someone has, like there's like this inflection in their voice when they are saying it in a way that's to be like, I know you're a furry. Like, because people will walk up to me and be like, cool shirt. And then there will be someone who walks up to you at a show and goes like, hey, cool shirt. And I'll be like, oh, you. Oh gosh. So that's legit happened at like just completely random shows with the band.
If you ever hear, oh, that's me. That's how you know I'm in the room somewhere. Like, oh, I know what that is.
I see.
I'm not hiding. I'm very obvious in plain sight. Oh, he's got a bad dragon.
Okay. I see you.
Okay.
See you.
God. Well, I do have questions about Nervous Vulpes, but I do want to talk about your YouTube channel for a bit. So, in one of your videos, you mentioned that you found interest in the furry fandom on YouTube before you knew you yourself were a furry. How long ago was that?
Oh gosh. So like I originally got into furry stuff in college, like, but pre-college I knew furries through message boards, like, just because if you're on the internet long enough, you're gonna know some furries, like, so naturally, like, if I'm making friends on the internet, I'm gonna make some furry friends along the way. So I always liked browsing just message boards back in the day, around like the senior year of high school, so probably around 2011. And like back then there wasn't really furry YouTube. The online stuff was there, but like mostly it was like, do you have fur affinity? Like, so that was 2011. But like the furry boards were always this kind of place where I could talk about all of my interests because they all happened to like a lot of the same things that I did, whether it was like anime, video games, or whatever. Like, they all kind of liked the same stuff as I did. So instead of going to an anime board to talk about anime or a video game board to talk about video games, I just went to the furry boards because I'm like, they all like the same stuff I do anyway. So whatever I feel like talking about, I'll be able to talk to the same people about that. So easy choice right there. Like easy to just pick the furry boards. Like it was just the easy choice. But then I eventually got into college and joined a furry club. They had like, it was the first year it existed on campus. The guy who was operating the booth, his name was Hems Fox, and he was just there by himself.
That name sounds so familiar.
He was by himself at a little fold-out table. He's you know what? He's circulated around the internet because some people tried to. So some people took pictures of him sitting alone at a fold-out table that said Furry Club on like a paper sign with like marker.
Oh.
And people were circulating him around like to try to like, you know, put it on cringe boards and things like that. And I actually talked to him about this the other day because we reconnected very recently. Like me and him drop off the face of the earth and then reconnect. But like he was talking to me about it. And one of his friends was saying, aren't you like embarrassed that like all these people are like laughing at you? And he's like, no, I'm not embarrassed. Like, because they didn't see what happened the second year that the furry club existed there. Because the first year he was all by himself at a little table. And the second year it came back, there was a bunch of people, fursuiters, canopies. Like it was a real club. Like, and so he was like, no, I'm not embarrassed about that. I'm proud that it was that cringy little thing. And then it turned into this, like, you know,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
That's
He's
really
one of the people that's helped me keep my head screwed on straight in the fandom. Like, since I first joined. Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Like he's legit like the first in-person furry that like was my actual friend, and I'm still friends with him to this day. And he so when he would do furry club meetings, literally what we would do is we would just goof off and watch YouTube videos. Like he would just show us what he thought was cool, because none of us knew any of the stuff online. Like, so that was the whole point of joining the club. And he would literally just like build playlists of furry videos, whether it was dance videos or comedy videos, because back then it was so hard to find consistent sources of furry content. Like there was usually like a person made one video and then another person made one video. So like, do you guys remember like what was it? It was like a furry cooking thing long time ago. It was like a deer fursuiter and I think a
Oh,
badger.
oh, 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 the drunken girl, the girl that would
Yes,
cook while she was drunk and stuff.
Drunk Furry
Uh,
Kitchen. Yes,
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think she
yes.
still does it. I think she still
Oh my
does it.
god. But see, that
Oh,
was
let me
like the
see.
original stuff, back before it was like, hey guys, it's so and so back with another Drunk Furry Kitchen thing. Like, no. It was literally just like, we're fursuiters and we're chaotic right now and we're gonna make muddy buddies.
It is Mincebuck. That's
Mincebuck,
who
that's
does it.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I ended up
So
meeting them at a convention one time and like just like I completely fanboyed, just like you guys are like the whole reason I make YouTube videos. Like
their video, well, yeah, their video. Well, no, maybe that's the husband. His videos are freaking hilarious, but the honey badger is just ah. Don't click on that with your volume full blast. That stuff
no.
was legit though. Did you ever watch Fursuit TV?
Fursuit TV. That sounds familiar. That sounds
That's another.
vaguely
It's very. I think it
early
was a more
days.
or less like an early days, more European focused, and it was just basically like if YouTube didn't exist, you took all the YouTube clips and you kind of compiled them together, and then you basically put them on a televised channel, I guess, like a PBS channel that was not like official or whatever. And then you would
Huh.
just have that on once a week, like on a Sunday, airing at a certain time. And each week it would be something different.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, it was always really cool. So I got introduced to a lot of different furries. I can't remember the one guy. There's one guy that does like a bunch of like extreme sports in his fursuit over in Europe.
Ooh.
I can't. One of them he does like skydiving, and I think it's really cool.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
one
yeah.
dude that skydives and does like I think like hang gliding or something.
I'm like, how does your head not pop off? Like,
yeah,
what
I'm like,
the
how do
what?
those eyes stay in? Like,
How do your feet just like not just freaking fly off and go everywhere? Like,
I'd be
you
so
have
scared.
glued on you? Like, goodness.
Yeah. He's probably got them like clipped onto his like clothes or something like really well or something because I'm like, there's no way those feet are staying on.
I mean,
There's no way I'd be doing that. I would be screaming my lights out, man. I'd be. You couldn't pay me to do that. What were? Did you have any videos that kind of initially piqued your interest in the fandom, or were they just in general just like furry videos?
Just in general, like, I guess like the two ones that really stick out early on, like that made me be like, ooh, this is something that's like really expressive and stuff like that is when I saw Monster Roo dancing a long time ago.
Oh, I love Monster
like that.
Roo.
That's a classic one. Like watching old school Monster Roo dances and like just the Drunk Furry Kitchen stuff. Those kind of two things were sort of like my way of thinking I had a place because I'm not a visual artist. I'm one of those furries that can't draw, which sounds like every furry should every furry can draw at least in some way, shape, or form. But like I have zero drawing skill. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to drawing.
I can draw an elephant's butt. That's about as good as it gets.
I can draw a colon 3 face, and that's about it. And even then, it looks bad.
Nice.
But yeah, I think just seeing that videos were even like this fringe thing at the time in the fandom, like seeing that kind of made me feel like, oh, I have a thing I can do. Like I just wanted a thing that I knew I could do. Because like music wasn't really a thing like that I thought could be a thing in the fandom because there's usually just a couple of big music acts. But then like, yeah, just posting some random videos up on YouTube seemed like a really fun idea. Like I originally started on Tumblr and then made GIFs on Tumblr because I didn't have ideas long enough for videos. So I would just make little GIFs on Tumblr before Vine was a thing or anything like that.
Vine.
Yeah, Vine. And then but that stuff eventually led into doing full length videos. And like, I don't know, it was just trying to find, I guess, where I belong in my own personal creativity and as far as my place in a fandom. Yeah.
So was your Tumblr just called Ace of Heart Fox or was it?
Yep.
Okay. So
I've
the
always had
Tumblr,
the same username. Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's consistency. That's good.
Yeah, man. Or
It's good
nowadays,
stuff.
now that like influencer culture is a thing, they would call it branding.
I
Oh.
hate that.
Ugh. I hate that too. I really
It's
do.
not branding.
It's not. It's just like I just want
Stupid
everyone to be able to type in the same username on whatever platform they're on and know that's me.
Yeah, that would be nice instead of having to like just change it around.
Yeah.
So you had Tumblr. Did the box come after that?
Yeah, so Debox was that was the first YouTube channel I ever made. That
Did
was
you start that on your own, or did you have any help?
um like as so that's where that's like a weird part of it is like I
I like weird.
it's like I started it originally as just kind of a way to keep turning things that I like as ideas into like visual things. And like I originally was just making Tumblr gifs because I was depressed in college and didn't feel like doing anything else. So I was just like, I need to funnel it into something at least creative or productive, like in some way, shape, or form. So I turned it into like, well, if I'm sitting around fursuiting doing stupid stuff, I'll put a camera there. Like, so then that just sort of evolved into making videos. And then like as far as like it's weird because like I had some help from the friends I was working with at the time, like, but for the most part I was doing all the writing and I was the one behind the camera most of the time unless I was in front of the camera. But if I wasn't in front of the camera, I was behind the camera and I did all the editing and I did like I came up with the video ideas. And this is like one of those things that where it's like I haven't really talked about it like publicly before. And it was just one of those things that I as the channel itself started to grow, like then a lot of the people that I was involved with at the time were more concerned with like being YouTubers, and I was more concerned with just making videos, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like they were more obsessed with like the like doing panels and doing merch and Patreon and like doing all these other things, and I'm like, what about videos, you know? Like
Just having fun.
yeah. And like I remember there was like a point in that, like I remember they were like saying, well, you don't let us do enough stuff. And I'm like, well, okay, then I would hand them off. Like I remember there was one time one of the guys that I worked with, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to just trash
Understandable.
people
And
or anything.
it's respectful. I wouldn't ask you to do that.
Like, but like one of the guys I had worked with, I knew him for years and years and years before that. And like I remember he was like, well, you don't let me, you know, you never let me have my shot, like that sort of kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, well, here's your shot. And then nothing came of it. Like I wrote and filmed a video and a whole skit and I gave it to him to edit and then it never saw the light of day. Like, so it was just a lot of people that felt like I wasn't giving them their shot. And then I give them their shot and then they didn't
step up.
Yeah. Like, and I'm like, guys, like, I want to be fair here. Like, cause like, I remember they would say, well, you didn't put as many of my bits into the skit or whatever. And I'm like, well, they weren't good. Like, or like they were just weird or like, or things like that. Or I remember there was like a point where they were like, well, we need to start being really professional about this. And I'm like, no, we don't. Like we started on an iPhone. We didn't even have a tripod. We like when I made my first videos, I had the little phone mount for my car with the little plunger on it, and I stuck that on the wall with my iPhone 4, and that was my camera equipment. You know, like
awesome.
Oh,
like,
I still have my
I don't know.
iPhone 4.
I'm really old school. I'm really punk rock about that. Like I don't know. It's just like it's just I like to just do it because it's good, and I like to do it. Like it doesn't matter. And they just started having these like. I remember before it would be I would just have an idea, write out a skit, and I would give it to them, and then we would joke around and add bits to it, and that was it. And then we started having writing meetings, and I was like, what is this? Like with a whiteboard and like storyboarding. And I'm like, guys, we're making 3 YouTube videos. We're not making a movie. Like they would send me like scripts written as screenplays with like stage directions, and I'm like, guys, just give them the dialogue and let them goof around. You
Like
know,
you're trying to make videos
It's-
for fun. Like you're not trying to do it for like views or anything. It's just
yeah.
something fun to
And
do.
so I think it was a case of everyone taking themselves just way too seriously, way too early on. And this was when we had like 10,000 subscribers. I'm like, we are not hot shit.
I remember even with For Media, we tried, well, even with Straight from the Muzzle, we tried to do scripted, like certain things scripted, and it didn't sound, it just didn't sound good. It didn't
Yeah.
it didn't feel good. It didn't sound good. It just something in me, I couldn't put that out there and know that that was quality content and be like,
Yeah.
yes, this is something that our listeners should listen to, and then be something that I should be proud of. That's not something that I can put my like 100% behind. I just can't do that. And so
Exactly.
I've always lived for, live, record it as it is. And even when I do like editing, I edit very minimal. So the only
Yeah.
things that I really edit are like dead space in between. Like if there's like 3-second gap between your answer and my next question, I may shorten it a little bit so it's not as much of a gap, but that's about it. I don't really remove anything else because I wanted to leave it as natural as possible because that is more fun and that's more real to the listener as opposed to removing things. And I don't add like sounds in there at all. Very rarely do I do that. It's just not, I like you, I just prefer it to be quality, but I like having fun with it.
Yeah, and I think that people can sense that. Like,
Yeah.
I think they can sense it. Like, they know when it's forced. They know when it feels heavily scripted. They're not stupid, and I feel like that it almost insults the intelligence of the viewer when you're trying to pull one over on them. And it's one thing when you're like cleaning things up or like making it, presenting it as nicely as possible is one thing. Like, you want it to look as nice as possible for them. So yeah, you bet we're going to do some editing and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes down to it, it's just let it have a life of its own. Like that's kind of the big thing I look for in every project. Is it just needs to have some sort of life to it. And that was when I decided to step down from DeBox. Like was when it was just like the life wasn't there. Like we could post videos and we were getting hits. Like we posted some Animal Crossing skits. It would get like 30,000 views, which is like way better back then than what it is now. But
It wasn't the same.
It really wasn't. I remember there was a point where we were at VidCon one time and I wanted to go there and meet friends and go to workshops and learn and grow and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to learn because there were big creators there and I'm like, I want to hear what they have to say, like in person, I want, they were like, I want to take something from this like experience. And I remember there was, the same dude, he just like wore sunglasses all day. And I'm just like, can you please take those off? Can you please, like, we are inside, please take those off. Like
you don't have to be a hotshot all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, no one knows who the fuck you are. And the shitty thing is it all changed. I'm sorry, can I cuss on this show?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We fully swear on the show. It's totally cool. Yeah.
But because there's really no way to say it other than it was just absolutely shitty. It was just this shitty thing where I wanted to just do this thing for fun, and these guys were all just so wrapped up in all the other stuff, and a lot of it very unfortunately changed. I remember there was like the first time he got recognized at a convention, and then it all changed, and I was just like,
that's usually how it goes.
I should have seen it coming, because I remember the first time I got recognized at a convention. Like I remember it really well. It's a special experience, because it's the first time. Like I'd done a bunch of creative things before that with zero recognition, so it just felt good for like I was at an anime convention of all things too. So it was cool because I didn't even expect anyone to know anything. And then someone like said they liked my Tumblr gifs or something like that. And it was just like really special because that like nobody wanted a picture with me before. Like nobody wanted any of those things. So it was just like it was something to be like, oh, it means something to someone. I'm gonna keep making these. Like, but that's all it meant, you know?
Yeah. I know
Like,
exactly how that feels.
yeah. And it felt really unfortunate that like I know Debox brought a lot of people happiness too, because like I still get asked about it and I still like and I don't want to like if it brings people happiness, if the stuff up there makes them happy, like that's why I've left the videos up there
I was
because people still
wondering.
watch them. Like
I
I
was wondering
left them
because
up there because yeah,
I know that
huh?
like your video, your last video is like I'm shutting it down, and I'm like, you're shutting it down, but you still have it up. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, what are you doing with it?
Because I remember
You're leaving the
people said that
magic.
it had still been getting comments on there and people were still watching it. The channel's not even monetized anymore. Like it's just there. it's just
Yeah.
it's just there for anyone who wants it and not being pushed at all for those who don't care that it's not there anymore. Like so it's that's just kind of how a project is though, you know, when you're done with it, you're just like there it is. For whoever wants it, and then like then you go to the next thing. Um, it was really a really scary thing to shut it down too, because I had done it for like multiple years at that point, and it was something that was originally started with friends. And by the time I was shutting it down, it was just me left.
Can you
And
convey to the listeners? Because I mean, I can explain it from how I did it, but
mhm,
can you convey to our listeners how like your mixed feelings and like your thought process and what was
mhm,
going through your mind when you were going to shut it down? Like, what does that mean to you? I mean,
mhm.
obviously, it's still going and people are still, watching
Yeah.
videos, and that's great, but you know that that part of your life is
Oh
done.
yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. It can be really really scary. Um, and and the peace of mind that I had was that I already knew what I was going to do next. If I had no idea what I was, oops, I knocked over my vape.
Nice.
That's me talking with my hands. Oh
We were talking about this too
yeah,
before we were recording.
it's like, hey Ace, do you talk with your hands? I don't know.
There you go.
um, but yeah, knowing what I was going to do next was the big peace of mind, and knowing that I had friends that wanted me to succeed, like even after the way that the box fell apart. So having that in mind of like already having a plan of action of like I'm still going to make videos, I'm still going to do this, I'm still going to do that, like that made it a lot easier. But it was really scary because it was like I already spent 4 years building up this thing. Am I going to have to spend another 4 years to get to the same spot? And turns out like in the span of a couple of years I've gone 5 times farther than like what I did with that. So you know what, I can at least say I grew from that, like, and I got that takeaway. And having, it's like being in a band, like everyone has to play in a band that doesn't work out to get to the band that they're like that everyone's grown and matured into. At like how I did with my previous band going into Nervous Vulpus, like same thing is as going from Debox to my solo Ace of Hearts Fox channel thing. As long as you learn from it, like, and you know what you're going to do next, you at least have a direction you can start walking in. Like, even if you don't know how fast or how slow you're going to be walking, even if you don't know how far that road's going to go, at least if you have a direction that you know you want to keep walking in, then you're going to have something to hang on to. So I think if you're dropping some chapter of your life, whether that's a project or a relationship or anything, just let yourself know what you're going to do next, even if you don't know how far that's going to go.
10 out of 10. Most inspirational speech I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, how do I
Like-
follow that?
It's
I
like,
don't
and
know.
now your
That was
turn.
really good. Like, oh my God.
Shit. No.
But then that's my long-winded way of like trying to get you guys at least into the headspace of like what I was able to kind of put through my head to get me through that decision.
Because it's a hard decision.
It is.
And I like that you kept your channel up. We've kept ours up too. So For Media still is up. It's been converted into Straight from the Muzzle, and it has all of Straight from the Muzzle's, logos and information on there now. But all of our original content, like original streams, what we would do live streams, and then they would be immediately published as videos that you could watch as an actual episode. We've kept all of that so that you can go back and rewatch them as much as you want to, but we don't go up and we don't actually update any new videos anymore. I've just kept it because it's a part of our history. It's a part of something that we created, and I don't want to take that away from anyone that comes. It's part of who we are. And if anyone ever does want to come and inquire, they'll at least know where to go and who to find, or where to find us, and then ask the right questions.
Exactly. So. And it's kind of important to almost not deny like what came before to get you to where you're doing what you want to do. A lot of the experiences I had in DeBox were not pleasant from just the way that it fell apart, and it just kind of cannibalized itself. But like, regardless of my connection to it, like if anyone still has an emotional connection to it, I don't want to take that from them. And like, so even when I've moved on, I'll leave that to kind of let the vines go over it on the garden. And if anyone feels like visiting it, then they can.
Nice. Before we move into our next section, if you had to choose one video that was the most memorable from DeBox, which one would that be?
Oh gosh.
No crying, because then I'll cry, and then we're all gonna cry.
This is actually a tough question. This is a really tough question. Cause I'm trying to think.
You want to choose all of them?
No.
No, there were some that you just didn't care for. I'm sure.
Yeah, there were totally. There were definitely some that I was just like thinking about it, and I'm like, I like the result of that one, but that was miserable to film. It's amazing how much harder filming is when you have to prod people to keep filming, and you're the only one that still wants to keep doing it before we lose daylight. I would say the video that means the most to me on there would probably be I have a lot of mixed feelings about the video, but I guess the better way to put it is the video I'm most proud of on that channel is the Five Nights at Furry's 2 video that we did.
I remember that one.
Oh my God, someone actually remembers it.
I do. So it was pretty good.
It was like it was just like it was one of the first times that I guess anyone really wanted a follow-up to anything creative I've done. And it was one of the first videos that I'd ever done in my entire life that got over 100,000 hits. And that was just like this, I don't know, you make stuff for a long time, never expecting anyone to see it. So when someone does see it and it kind of spreads, then it's just this beautiful surprise. And I can't even explain. I can't explain the feeling. Like it just, I guess it wasn't about the number, but it just knowing that it was just like, I made this and I didn't have to like push for it to be a thing. Like I shared it with my friends and stuff. And then it just
right. Like you didn't have to pull teeth or anything to.
Yeah. Like we didn't know what the algorithm was. We didn't know like how to tag things properly. Like we didn't know any of this stuff. Like we didn't even think about the thumbnails. We just wanted it to look good enough. And I think that was something beautiful about that, was having a video like that did blow up in some small way, but was in a very pure way as far as getting it out there. It wasn't like a marketing plan or any sort of, nowadays everyone's like, when's the best time to post? When, like, what do you do, like, to get people to get this kind of reach? What should all the, like, trends be and stuff? And it's
I
just like,
hate
back
the
then it was
hoops you
just
have
like,
to jump through.
yeah, it's so silly because
So
back then it was just like,
stupid.
just post it, and if anyone likes it, they will.
I still go by that, by the way. So
Oh yeah.
on Twitter, so I still like, so what I do is I actually, rather than just posting, I actually ask engaging questions sometimes. And some of them are now going to get my little secret here. Sometimes I purposely ask them questions that either make them emotionally angry, to make them comment, so I can get a feel of how they actually feel about a specific moment or a specific topic, so that way I can get a better idea of how to talk about this thing
Mhm.
on an episode.
It's
But the only way
you're
I can
mining people's perspective.
exactly, but the only way I can do that is if I can engage with them in a question. And so that's the best way to do it, is to engage in questions. If you're going to spam post them all day long, they're just going to leave you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I guess touching back on YouTube stuff, that's a big thing, is just like, yeah, the same thing where it's like, instead of just trying to adhere to an algorithm, like, just I'm a huge believer in just being a human about it, like, and if it means something to you, it'll mean something to other people too, and luckily that seems to have worked so far. Like, I'm not like nearly as big as like some of my friends are on the internet or anything, but like, I've definitely managed to stick around for a while. Come to think of it.
That's pretty good.
People have like, I've definitely had a few friends that like ended up coming and going in YouTube world, whether it was personal choice or personal downfall. Like, and I don't know, I'm really glad that like after all this time, at least the people that I do still get people that watch the box going onto my YouTube stuff and onto my Twitch stuff, and I don't know, it's really nice to have people that still want me around, like, after all this time. Like, that sounds so silly to say, but I don't know. It's really special. And I know that every single creator says, I really appreciate the support of all my viewers and all this stuff. But like, on a very human level, just the idea that like anyone after all this time would still want to say, like, what else he got? Like, that's amazing. Like,
What's
that's
coming next?
yeah, like,
Yeah.
that gives me so much life, and I wish I could tell teenage me about that, because there were so many times where I despaired as a teenager, and I was just like, no, it's gonna be okay, just don't give up. Like, I know that everyone says don't give up, but actually though, like, don't.
The weird question is, like, if you could go back in your past and tell yourself, like, would you go and tell yourself not to do certain things?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say no, because if I did that, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Absolutely.
Right? Why would you change the past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly why I would just tell them it's going to be okay. Like, just keep powering through it. Like, don't change what you're doing. Just know that it's for something.
Yeah.
Just, like, don't alter course. Just keep going, because I promise it's for something.
And if it's not working, it's okay. Try something different.
Exactly.
If it doesn't work out, that's okay.
Even all the setbacks, it's for something.
It's okay to fail. Just know that, because I have failed many times, and I've still gotten up.
When, like, if people can't like admit that they've failed, I'm like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, who do you think you're fooling? Like, anyone who thinks that it's like always, like, anyone who, and as an anxious person, that sounds so hypocritical, because like, as an anxious person, I think everyone's got their shit together and I don't, but like, no one has their shit together.
No.
Same.
God, I think that's, especially during the pandemic, man. If anyone has their shit together, I want to know who that person is, because
seriously,
they're fucking lying.
Oh my God, right? Anyone who like there's only one person I know that can say that their life during 2020 wasn't that bad, and I believe them without them being like someone with all the money in the world is one of my friends I worked with at Disneyland moved to New Zealand like without knowing the pandemic was coming. And then
Oh,
happened to be they lived in California where I'm at right now, like, and like then they moved to New Zealand and their whole year was just them posting like, I'm going in the mountains and I'm going swimming, and I'm like, you're a jerk, but also
that
good on you.
sucks. But it's like that sucks for us, but that's like rad for them.
Oh yeah, perfect freaking timing.
Oh,
They
bummer.
legit only moved out there because they're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, like,
Oh,
and
love
like
it.
they just want to go live their Hobbit life, and they're like, turns out Hobbit life's pretty good.
Damn it.
Actually, is New Zealand like completely COVID free right now, or?
Oh yeah, like I saw footage of them like at a nightclub or something, and I'm like, you ass.
I mean, I think they opened up their border and then they did get a case and they closed it back down again, and they're still and now they're clear again. And I'm just like, why can't the US do that?
Because the US is stupid.
Can we be clear for just a little bit as a treat?
Jeez. We're not asking much here, people.
I know.
I feel like
2
hey, I
weeks.
just
Just
cleaned
2
up
weeks.
in here. Can we
Cat,
just keep it clean?
come on. We've come so far.
So close. We're so close, you guys. That's how I feel every time I walk outside and I see like a park full of people and like a bunch of them don't have masks on.
Oh my
Guys,
god.
we're so close. It's like you're watching like people doing a Formula One race, and like they're on the last lap and the guy in the lead starts to like wave at the crowd and you're like, keep both hands on the wheel, you doofus. Like you're
like,
gonna
wobble and then you're gonna flip.
yeah. I'm like, you've done so well so far. Please don't screw this up at the last lap. Please. We're so close. I'm a musician. I haven't played a show in a year, and I had like 40 shows on my calendar for like the first couple months of the pandemic that I had to cancel.
Oh man.
Like I remember talking to like what's that?
Oh, sorry, no, keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying I remember talking to like some furry musicians like about how I'm like, yeah, I canceled like months of shows, and they're like, yeah, I won't be able to play these 3 conventions. I'm like, oh, your 3 shows got canceled. I had to talk to 40 venues.
Oh, it's such a bummer.
Oh, like that's like one thing I like this is gonna sound, what's it with us sounding elitist even though we're totally not, but like
there's no way around it. You just got to go for it.
I just want to bring some standards into furry music, because I've come to some of the shows that some of the music groups play, again not naming any names whatsoever, but like some people just don't come prepared and some people just don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, guys, if you were trying to do this in like, if you were operating this way in the Southern California music scene, you would get eaten alive either by the venue or the people in the crowd. Like you would get just absolutely demolished. Like, I don't know. I want to bring some like real standards into there of just like, we're going to come in here like as professionals, like not just like as trying to be like, well better than you, but like just being like, no, this is like how a working band should do this. This is how a well-oiled machine should operate. Because like,
I think it's culture too, though. I think it's culture by where you live.
Yeah.
Just thinking in general, like punk rock and just like rock bands in general, garage bands is a total California thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Just have to do it yourself here.
Exactly. It's just a thing. And so, but like everywhere else, a garage band could be something not like California.
Yeah.
Something else.
But I think that like, I think it's just like the difference between people who like, regardless of location, like engage with like a real actual music scene, and the difference between that and just having a purely online scene.
Yeah.
Like, because there's this huge gap. There's this huge gap to like, because it's either you're playing to people like on your live stream or whatever, or you have to get like on a stage at a convention, and that's a huge jump for like a small artist to make. Like
it's nerve-wracking, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like, so that's the other thing too, is like a lot of artists a lot of the small furry artists don't have the stage experience to get up on a big stage. So they end up kind of fumbling over themselves. And I really wish that like, I wish there was just more emphasis on getting out there and being a musician before you go out and try to be like a musician on a stage at a furry convention or something, like, cause I feel like a lot of the things that they stumble on, whether it's preparedness or just knowing what to do and how to operate with a crew, like it comes down to experience. A lot of it comes down to experience.
That kind of sparks an idea. I have not seen this at a convention yet, but what if there was a stage panel where bands could come, or newly bands forming could come, and then people like you could teach them how to have etiquette on stage?
That would be really cool, actually. Like just teaching like preparedness for musicians and like
What to
how to
expect.
actually like, yeah, because like
What it
even
feels like to
little
be on
things,
stage and everything. Yeah.
things that you just don't think about. Like, and I've come unprepared to gigs too. Like I remember I brought all of my gear to TFF. I had everything that I thought I needed. I plugged in all my stuff, and then I checked my wireless pack bag, and I didn't bring AA's.
Oh,
Sad. That
Had
sucks.
everything, and then I had to.
But when you need that's like the one thing you need, and no one has it.
Exactly. And it's the one thing you don't want to ask anyone for, like their batteries that they paid for. Like, and like, so I remember going to one of the tech guys and being like, "Hey, Arrow, can you just run out like anywhere you can find me some AA's before the show? Like I've got everything else I need." But like, I think but then he was talking to me and he was like, "Oh, dude, like that's like the easiest thing out of everything I have today. Everyone else, like one dude doesn't have pedals, another dude doesn't have amps, another dude forgot to bring cable. Like AA's, yeah, you're fine." So like even just like being prepared, and then like having just that one thing that's just like, oh, I overlooked a thing, instead of being like, oh, I just didn't think to do it at all. Like, or I thought the convention was gonna have AA's or something, like, you know, like. Just not expecting them to take care of it. But then like when they do end up needing to take care of something, they're like, oh, but it's like something he feels like he should have taken beforehand. So we're on the same page. Yeah.
Damn.
Like it's just a lot of, that's a good idea though. Like doing a panel to kind of just be like, these are the things you're going to have to figure out how to do. For one thing, learn to communicate with your crew that night, because, oh my goodness, they're just, I've been at a few things where it's just like some people are just not communicating, and it can be rough. Like, and some of these convention shows, I really just want to bring. When you bring a prepared band, like when you bring a prepared act, like you really get an easier and better time for everyone. Everyone has more fun, including the people working the event. And it's a better experience for everyone. I can't stress preparedness enough. And I think that's why more bands need to exist. Because we have lots of solo artists. We have lots of singers. We have like, you know, it's like, even in California, like when you're trying to form a band, there's like a million guitar players, a couple bassists, a couple drummers, and like however many guitar players there are, times that by 10, and that's how many singers are available. Like, and like, I really feel like if we could get more bands operating, like, even if they end up being backing bands for solo people that want to just play cons or things like that, like just having people that regularly practiced and stuff together, because I feel like with all this remote stuff, I really just want there to be a physical scene in the furry fandom. That's my long-winded way of just saying more bands need to exist.
Do furry conventions have a battle of the bands competitions?
Not that I know of, which is another thing that I would like to do.
They need to start that, because
there's lots of furry musicians.
Fursuit dance competitions are fun, but we need some like other things.
Yeah, and like live, and they already set up stages and things like that. And I'm like, it's not that much farther off to add some live entertainment into there. Like,
because I would rather. No offense to like fursuit dancing, but it's all pretty much the same thing. They all do the same.
Oh moves. Yeah. I mean, I want to hear some. I participated in fursuit dancing competitions. Like, I know it's the same thing. Like,
yeah.
Like,
you've all popped and locked, and you've all done the robot. Hooray!
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear some hard rock music now.
Yeah, like, or even just like any sort of live act where anything can happen.
Would just be fun.
Yeah, and I know we have Foxes and Peppers, like they exist.
And that's great, but I want that to be the focal point. I think there should be more. Like you said, there should be more out there.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a good way to introduce this would be like a battle of the bands type of thing.
Maybe even like a battle of the band, a battle of the bands sort of thing. Maybe that where like the first prize is getting on main stage next year. Like,
Ooh,
things like
yeah.
that. Like, because I feel like that's a huge issue with conventions is just vetting the acts. Like, nobody wants to like set up a main stage show for people they've never heard before. Like, and not know if it's going to be any good and bring a bunch of people into a hall only to have them leave. But like, if you do a battle of the bands, that's just live auditions and you get immediate feedback from the crowd.
Absolutely.
You know what? This is a really good idea. I want to talk to one of my friends.
Yeah, do this.
I'm going to talk to one of my friends that like talks to convention people and just be like, there should be a battle of the bands. Yes, this is a good idea.
And then
if I forget about it, then I'll remember it when this episode airs.
And if they do it, let me know because I'm very curious.
Yes.
I want to see how far this goes.
Absolutely. That would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
God, they need more. There just needs to be more like events at conventions than just like.
There needs to be more inclusion in things.
Oh yeah,
like you need, like Battle of the Bands. You need like let's have like a furry like art competition like show or something.
Yeah.
Like show your physical art, like either through like painting or drawing or like digital or something. But yeah, just more representation for other things other than just fursuit dancing, which, like you said, is just pop it, lock it, So.
Yeah, and like taking more focus on people making things instead of people in things that people have made. Like, I mean, I'm a fursuiter. I sound like a hypocrite right now because it's like a lot of people know who I am because of the fursuit or whatever. But like, when it gets down to it, I'm just making what I feel like making, and like I think bringing more events that other people could participate in, like, will bring more life into the fandom too. Similar to how like when I was first making YouTube videos, like the furry YouTube thing, there weren't furry YouTuber meetups yet. There weren't panels for these things. Like it's just posting on the internet. And once people started taking that more to heart and that little scene started to grow, then there's just a whole new subgenre of furry in YouTube. And like, I really feel like the music subgenre of furry and the just the performance art section of it could really use more life.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I had something I was going to say, and then I totally just lost track of what I was going to say. Damn it. It'll come back later. It'll come back later. I'm sure. All right. Boomy's going to switch over. She's going to ask the next sex, not the next sex of questions. That's not where I was going. Not where I was going.
Bring me here for
sex. No. You've heard of cyber sex, right?
No.
Wow.
I need an adult pickle.
What size? No, just kidding.
I'll get the strap on.
You're gonna get some raccoon hands at you.
Can you make sure it's Pickle Rick? I only do Pickle Rick. No.
Pickle Rick.
God,
I can't believe Rick and Morty exists. It feels like a fever dream.
It does. So I guess to our understanding, Barebones started out as a project. Did you want to go ahead and just elaborate a little bit more? Since obviously, Nervous Vulpus is your second band. This is your first band. So if you wanted to touch up on it, we can do that. So yeah.
Sure.
It's a little rundown.
So Barebones was, I guess I called it a project because it had kind of closed, and now it's more of just this thing that I look at, kind of like how like it was just what I was doing at the time, and now I'm no longer doing that. Like, so it kind of came to a close, and I can kind of look at it as this finished thing. So then it's more of like a completed project. Like I just don't like to think of it as like a band that broke up or anything like that. It's just like, no, it's just a project that I did at the time. Because I did learn from it, and I did take away from it, because it was the Barebones was a 2-piece blues band, kind of like a la White Stripes, sort of, but like we were Diet White Stripes, but
Diet White Stripes,
yeah, like if I'm being real, like, but it was a really good way to sort of put us through the ringer, because usually when you're a young band, you have all your friends and stuff like that, and it's just like, nope, just me on guitar and vocals and drums, and we better put on a show. And like, so we were playing venues and things like that, and it was a really good way to just grow real fast as a performer. Like, just because when you're up there, you better play. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't have any other musicians up there other than the drums, like, you're handling all the melodies, all the rhythms and everything. Like, so it's really just like a heavy under pressure kind of situation, but it was a lot of fun to play in. But that kind of took its course, because it's just like, well, it was a blues band, it wasn't really going anywhere. But eventually, like, it led over to playing with Nervous Vulpus, and that project it's a completely different life to it. It's like a 4-piece band. So I have a lead guitar player, a bass player, a drummer, and then I do the rhythm guitars and vocals. And like, it's just completely different, because I get to bring songs that I already had to sort of write completed songs for the 2-piece band with just guitar and drums. Like, so to be able to bring what already kind of feels like a completed song to my bandmates and have them make it sound really cool with guitar solos and drum fills and all this cool stuff, like, that they know how to do, like, just it takes it to a whole other stage, and I can't wait to share it with you guys.
I gotta ask the most dumb question, I think, here.
There are no dumb questions.
You said rhythm guitar?
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay, that's a dumb question. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. As that was coming out of my mouth, I remembered he was like, he just opened up to you about how shy he is. You monster.
Damn, no. I can take it.
He was confiding in
If I can deal it, I can take it.
But what was the question again?
What is the
a rhythm guitar? Is that like a specific? Is that a phrase, or is that a specific thing?
So that's so usually in bands, like, people will kind of be if we have multiple guitar players, one will usually be playing the chords and like the more rhythmy sections of the composition, and the lead guitar player gets to be the one going like diddly diddly wow, like, you know, like,
okay.
Like, the way me and my band put it, like, we're idiots, all of us, and I love it, because it's just like, I do the chugga chuggas, and my guitar player Matt does the diddly doos. So, like, that's the formula. So
who does the wow wows?
Oh, Matt does all the wow wows, because he goes all like wow wow. This is the technical terminology, of course.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's so rhythm guitar is just the person who plays the straight little rhythm notes, and then the lead guitar player is the one who does all the complicated guitar solos and really big melodic things on top of it. Yeah.
I asked the question so the listeners don't have to.
No, that's a good thing to ask, because when I'm talking about music, I'm always under the assumption that people know what I'm talking about, because I don't consider myself knowledgeable at all. But that's a good thing to distinguish. That's a good thing to know.
You would think, because I come from a musical family, you would think I would know these things. But like my brothers, they played like acoustic guitar. They didn't play electric guitar. They didn't play like in rock bands or things of that matter. So I didn't really pay attention to that. I sang solos. I never actually sang in a band or anything of that matter. So
it's so much
I'm not familiar with those terms.
So backup vocalists do the vocals that back up the lead vocal. But it's the same concept though. It's like the rhythm guitar is basically the backup vocals for the lead guitar.
It's like just
it just kind of does the straight note. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, explain it to me like I'm a brand spanking new. Like, I just got my first instrument in 5th grade. Like, I don't know anything. Like, there you go.
I've got a recorder.
There you go. That's how you should explain it, I guess, to people.
If you're trying to learn "Sweet Child of Mine," then the lead guitar player is the one that goes do 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 do, and then the guitar player just goes dun.
Yep.
Nice.
It's really fun, actually. I love, and there's something really fun, because a lot of people don't like to be the rhythm guitar player. Like, they want to be the guy doing the solos and stuff like that. And I always loved being the rhythm guitar player, because that was just the person that everyone needed. Everyone wanted to be out front doing guitar solos, and I was just like, I'm not going to beat these guys. They're way better than me, so I'm going to be the rhythm guitar player. And just it sounds so nice when it blends together, because you can have a really badass lead guitar player and you can have a really strong rhythm player, but when you put them together in the same room, it's like the difference between hearing two people singing by themselves and when they start to do a harmony, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it could also be that the lead guitarist isn't also the greatest singer, and that the rhythm guitarist is the greatest singer.
Oh yeah,
Is
I wish that
also
was the case with
possible?
my band. Like I luckily my job, I've always told myself my job security in bands is the ability to sing and play at the same time, because nobody seems to want to learn to do that, and then the ability to write songs, because no one wants to be the songwriter. Like, that takes work.
I don't find it that hard to play and sing at the same time, but maybe that's just because I like to multitask. Because
Maybe you're just talented.
Yeah, there's some of us that have something called the talent,
Some of them just have it.
the gift.
Some of
It's a
them just,
gift
they've just
and a
got it, and
curse.
other people's they gotta put a little more work in, you know.
Yeah, you gotta learn
gosh.
how to do it. No.
Like me.
Elitist. No, just kidding.
I like Wheatus. I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
God.
That guy still can sing. Like I saw a recent video of them and I was like, wow, they're still good. Like, kudos. So many of them
I don't know. I'm not asking the questions here. I should.
How dare you?
I'm just making commentary. I'm the peanut gallery at this point.
He's the pickle gallery.
I'm the pickle gallery.
Yeah.
What kind of
Dill
pickle, are you,
pickle.
though? Okay, a dill pickle.
What about like bread and butter pickles though? Like a bread and butter pickle
love
spear?
bread and butter pickle.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Say bread and butter pickles 5 times.
I can't.
Bread and butter pickles. Bread and
bread
butter
and
pickles.
bread and butter.
Bread and butter pickles. No,
I like
bread
the
and butter.
spicy,
Bread and butter.
Bread and
Bread and
butter
butter.
pickles. I don't like pickle chips though. I think that's gross.
What?
I don't see the point of having a pickle chip.
Now, okay, so like an actual like potato chip, it's like flavored like a pickle.
No,
I mean,
like yeah,
pickle
like
chips
okay, like
serve a purpose on a sandwich, but that's it.
no, okay. So on a burger,
His face, no, listen.
no, there is. I have rules. On a burger, it's no pickles, no onions, no tomatoes. I like tomatoes, but I don't like them on a burger because it makes them soggy and it's gross. So, and then onions are just that's a no go. But pickles, no. And they're always like the wavy ones too. Like by adding waves, you think you're adding texture? No, it's just gross. Don't do it.
Who do you think you are? Waffle fries?
Yeah, but then then it gets weird because I like a specific peanut butter sandwich with pickles on it.
Yes, finally, somebody else likes peanut butter and pickle
What?
sandwiches.
Yes, and it's so good.
A peanut butter sandwich. Okay, so on paper, I see why that works, but for some reason, my tongue is telling me don't do that.
It's because it's got like this sweet savory, but then it's got like this salty, like sour crunchiness to it. I don't know. It's just so aesthetically deliciousness. It's so good. It's so good.
Do you use smooth, creamy peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter?
I like this.
Oh, smooth. Can't be crunchy. Crunchy's not where it's at.
No.
No, and it's got to be
No.
Jif.
Yes.
Oh. Wow, you have this down to a science.
Screw Skippies, okay? Skippies can suck
Peter
it.
Pan.
So
Right.
I am
Peter
neutral on
Pan-
the peanut butter stances. What is your
Peter Pan
beef with Skippy?
blows. I just don't think it's that great. It's bland. You might as well get Walmart brand while you're at it.
So if I'm ever reaching for Skippy, just get great value.
Yeah, just go ahead and get that while you're at it.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not okay. While we're on peanut butter and jelly in the same jar. Why?
Disgusting.
That's gross. Ew. No.
Like,
That's-
no.
Ugh.
I feel like that would sit really weird after a while.
It does, and I don't like the fact that it doesn't have to be refrigerated, which makes it even more.
I don't trust that.
suspicious.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
same. It's just it's the weirdest thing. It's the same thing as those mayo packets that don't have to be refrigerated. It's like
If it will
Yeah.
not
keep
rot
pumping in
sitting
there.
out, why am I putting it in my body?
Yeah. Exactly.
If the natural process of decomposition does not affect it, what are my like stomach acids going to possibly do?
Thank you. It's always
And yeah,
so
I'll
it's
put like
Jif's-
McDonald's fries in me.
Oh, I love McDonald's fries.
I'm
Those are
weak.
good.
I'm a weakling.
I've
Dude,
eaten way too much McDonald's recently. Like, it's sad.
Oh,
Burger
but it's
King
so
fries
good.
suck. They always feel like they're just like dry and stale,
I
even though they
can't
just
Burger
came out of
King
the bag.
is so sad. Like
It
I
really
feel
is.
I feel like Burger King, it's it's one of those things. It's like it's always managed to stay in the discussion somewhat. It's always managed to stay in the conversation, but it's never anyone's first choice. It's kind of just like if there are no other options, we are content with Burger King. You know
Burger
what I
King
mean?
is the Taco Bell of burger joints, is what it is.
Yeah, it's just like if there
you
isn't
would rather
other
go to like
food,
Del Taco than you would Taco Bell. So
it depends on what I'm getting, but yes. Like straight tacos, I will go Del Taco. If I'm going for some crazy like stoner food or something like that, then go to Taco Bell. That's the menu.
Yes.
It's not Mexican food; it's stoner food.
Yeah,
it is stoner food.
And then you get the Hershey squirts afterwards, but that's the risks.
You understand the risks.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone understands the risks.
Yeah, and if they don't, they'll learn.
You'll learn very quick.
I will.
I learned the hard way not to microwave Taco Bell. That didn't go well.
Don't.
That was gross.
Why? What happens?
Because I was drunk and just like my stomach did not like what was happening in there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
You ever seen your lunch twice?
Ew.
Well, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, not a good time. Not a good time.
Ew.
And that was like the first time. There were some friends of mine too that like I knew for a while online, and that was the first time we were drinking together like in person at a convention. And that happened, and I'm like, I promise this never happened. Like I just made it wasn't the alcohol. I microwaved Taco Bell, and I started feeling like crap. Don't microwave Taco Bell. It's just not a good idea.
No.
Tips
It's
and
not.
tricks from Ace of Hearts Fox. Don't microwave your Taco Bell, especially.
Yeah, words to live by, really.
Eat it fresh. That's it. And it's
In
not even
hindsight,
fresh.
I'm like, well, yeah, you microwaved like tomatoes and lettuce and cheese that's been sitting out with like sour cream. Of course you're gonna feel sick. And you just put that thing through like radiation heat.
I didn't even think about that. That's weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Warm lettuce. Ew.
Yeah, and warm like microwaved tomatoes. I'm like, these are just all objectively bad things that like and that when you're intoxicated you just don't think about when you're putting in your body.
So just batter it up and deep fry the damn thing, and then eat it.
Two things
There
then.
you go.
Don't microwave Taco Bell, and never get drunk enough to where you think microwaving Taco Bell is okay. Just those two things.
When in
I
doubt,
should've
just
known
eat
better.
a pizza.
Yeah,
There you
when
go.
in doubt, just get pizza. You can't screw up pizza. You can't.
7-Eleven,
screw up
pizza.
Boom. Yep.
Pizza Hut, pizza.
Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Little pleasers. Yep.
Yeah, everywhere. Pizza's good. Really.
Get a $5 hot and ready and call it a day.
Boom,
Yes.
Go to
Oh,
the
yes.
dollar store,
yeah.
get little Tostitos,
Yes.
like pizza, pop it
Just
in the
every
microwave.
band has like lived
World
off of
peace could be solved with pizza.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mhm. Oh,
Except for
$6
Italy.
pretzel crusts, man.
Oh,
Dude, they're
yeah.
selling them here.
Oh, they're so
They're
good.
good. Oh, they're so good.
I'm a sucker. That like I straight up got like I got so much fatter when like those things were out. I like I look in shape now, but the second I get like enough disposable income, like that's how anyone's gonna know I'm doing well in life is when I just get immediately fat. Like it's gonna happen. I can see it now. Like people always say I have like self-control and stuff, and I'm like, no, I just can't afford food. They're like, wow,
I can't afford the nicer things in life, but I can afford crappy pizza.
Yeah, or they'll be like, you eat so slow, and I'm like, yeah, I just want this smaller meal to feel longer.
Are you a slow eater too?
I am.
I
very slow
eat
eater.
super slow.
I also
My
eat
husband
very
like
slow.
vacuums food up, and I just don't understand it. But I eat super slow, that because then it fills you up quicker.
When it comes to comfort food, I inhale it. I
Oh,
inhale
absolutely,
comfort food.
instantly, man.
Like fried stuff, inhale.
Ice cream.
Listen, I can
Yeah.
inhale some sushi.
But like if, huh?
I said I could inhale some sushi.
Gross.
Oh
No.
yeah, same thing with that.
Wait, gross,
Sushi,
that's
like
so good.
just straight up in the mouth. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yes.
If it swims in the sea, it doesn't belong in me. That's my rhyme. That's my
More,
rule.
more sushi for me and Star. Okay.
Yay! You can have mine.
Good. No, yeah, like I but when I have cake though, I eat it really slow. Like
I'm
if
not
I
a
have
big cake
sweets or
fan.
something, like if I have like anything rich or anything in flavor, I always eat it really slow. Because like if it's really heavy in flavor, like a small bite's gonna taste the same as a big bite. Like, so that's kind of the way I put the logic to myself. Like, it's helped me lose weight. I was almost 200 pounds at one point, and I ended up losing like 45, 50 pounds, something stupid like that. Like,
nice.
Yeah. Oh gosh. It took a while, man. But like, because like my whole family is like into diets and things like that and stuff. And it was funny because like after about a year and a half of just like trying to slowly change habits and things like that, they were like, "What's your secret?" And I'm just like eating less and then continuing to eat less over time. Like, because like I would just like, or just change things from like, instead of having soda, I'm gonna have water with like some lemon flavor in it, and boom, like little things like that just changed over time, and then it was just so nice. So I've managed to keep the weight off. But oh my god, I thought I wasn't fat, and then like I looked at old pictures, and I'm like, oh dude, you were in denial is what you were. Like I'm glad I can see like the bottom half of me from the top half view now.
You know, the best weight loss tool for losing weight is Photoshop.
But here's that was one of the things that like I thought I thought about, like one of the sad impacts was I had to like cherry pick a Facebook profile picture that made me look thinner, and I'm like, there's another way to look thinner, right?
Just
like
suck it in.
Like there's another way to look thinner. Just be like I know it's easier said than done, but just like I had to tell myself, but like you instead of trying to pick a profile picture that you look thinner at that angle, maybe you should just work on it.
Yeah.
like and then I was just like, shut up.
For sure.
Yeah. Like, so I remember I just one day, like, I remember I got a treadmill, and then I was just like, all right, there's this large object in your room, and you're gonna feel really dumb if it just sits there.
I just can't do treadmills. I don't know what it is. I just feel very unmotivated on a treadmill.
Putting them
I'm
in front
not
of the
going
TV
anywhere.
helps.
Even
But,
with the TV.
I think that's the difference though, is I don't like going outside. One, because I'm a 5'7" Asian guy in Orange County, and it's dangerous. But
oh, you do not want to stand next to me then, because I'm 6'5".
Oh no, then I want to stand next to you. Maybe people won't hurt me.
Listen, I am 5'3" on a good day.
Wow, you're tiny.
I am so small.
Oh my God.
Like when your posture is good, you're 5'3" then.
Yeah, when my posture's good and like I'm wearing some good shoes, like I'm 5'3".
Some platforms.
Yeah. Listen, no, if I were wearing platforms, I would be like 5'5" or something. But
get some like Docs or something.
So, listen, if you've ever seen Miss Congeniality, that's just me in heels. That's why I just never wear them.
Oh gosh,
I'll just fall over and die.
But like, why would anyone expect anyone to ever wear heels?
Have you ever seen the women do the 6-inch stiletto run?
Oh my God, yes. How did they do that?
I kind of want to do it just to see how hard it is, but I also want to go and watch them just so I can see them fall.
I don't want you to break your ankle.
But it looks like so much fun though.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Knowing me, just like, it wouldn't even be like running and trip. I would take the first step and just absolutely break my ankle.
I would just be complaining the whole time. I would rather see I'd rather see 100 drag queens do it than 100 skinny women doing it. Just because I know 100 drag queens would all be like cracking jokes left and right while they were trying to run. That would be more.
Oh, they would do it better in every way, shape, or form too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like those viral TikToks you see of like skinny blonde girls repeating like dances, and you're like, yeah, but like look at the original.
Yeah. Right?
Like, oh, TikTok loves a good skinny white girl though.
Oh, they really do.
Like,
they're not really skinny though.
Breaks my heart.
I'm kind of down with the thickness though.
Down with the thickness.
Yes.
I'm just down with anyone living their healthiest way, whether healthiest balance between mental and physical health. What I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, and that's like one of the things that like I was thinking about, because like I remember my partner, like when I was getting towards 200 pounds, was like, like they still thought I was attractive, and they still loved me, and like they always they knew I was self-conscious about it, and they like Clocky would always just reassure me that like they still thought I was attractive and blah blah blah, like. But like then I was just like, yeah, but this is clearly affecting my confidence and affecting everything else. So like, and then I bent down to tie my shoes, and I couldn't do it without sitting. And I was like, okay, things I used to be able to do are not happening anymore, and I need to stop before more of those happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have to be confident, like with yourself too. Like somebody can tell you all day long, "Hey, you're beautiful," or "Hey, you're handsome," or "You look great," but it's like you yourself have to also feel good in your own skin.
Yeah. And everyone's situation's different. So that's why I always think about it as just like, it's not so much about like peak physical or mental health, but maintaining a balance of the two. Like as long as you can live healthily in a way that you feel is fulfilling, then like go for it. Like, cause some people can't help what weight they are, and some people can't help how tall or short or whatever they are, like you can't, there's some things you just can't help. Like, and it's really about finding a balance to what makes you feel good inside and out. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Nervous Vulpes.
Yes.
That's such a really bad transition, but I'm going with it anyways.
Changing topics entirely. Nervous Vulpes.
Nervous Vulpes.
The band.
Who came up with that name?
I did. I came up with that name. I was it was kind of like just sort of a play on, the scientific name for a fox, Vulpes vulpes. But since it originally started as just me by myself, like the Vulpes in Nervous Vulpes is spelled singular, not plural. So it was originally just me by myself with a couple of songs. And then I brought the music to a friend of mine who has known me since I was a kid, like since I was like 16. And he always sort of was like one of my music mentors, kind of. He's a touring musician that goes around with a lot of really big classic rock bands and things like that. And he played a lot of session recordings on some really, really special songs. And like, and he's always just kind of been there to sort of guide me as a musician. And, his name's Brett. I guess I won't say his last name. I guess I don't know if he wants to, but like, anyways, he's been really supportive. And when I came to him with these two songs that are now on our studio EP, I came to him with just these kind of canvassed ideas of songs, and we fleshed them out into 2 demo recordings. And he really liked these 2 songs that they would eventually become, for anyone who has listened to Nervous Vulpes so far, those songs are Sleight of Hand and Better. And those are 2 of the songs that are going to be on our studio EP. But I took those songs and just kind of went from there to be like, all right, guess I need a band now. And I literally called one of my friends that I'd known since I was a kid. His name's Matt Kilgore, and he plays guitars for our band. And I called him and I was like, hey, man, you want to join a cult? And he was just like, I'm in. Kilgore. And we just went to Denny's. We met each other for the first time in years. We'd both been playing in bands, just doing our own thing. And we met up at a Denny's and just I showed him the songs and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I met up with my bass player and my guitar player through another band that we had played around with in the Barebones. So that was another thing where the Barebones was actually instrumental in being in that experience that didn't work out, was very much helpful for forming the thing that I'm doing now, because the people that are in my rhythm section, my bass player and my drummer, are from a band that I was actually a fan of locally, that was playing around the same gigs as us. And eventually that band that they thought was going to go somewhere, ended up breaking up. And I kind of snatched them up while I could, because they're really good. And
nice.
And I was amazed they even want to play with me too. I remember putting out a thing on my Facebook that was just hey, if anyone wants to jam, I have some songs. And the drummer had messaged me. Her name's Kristen. And she was just down, and it was amazing. And it was funny because I just assumed I was just sweet, they apparently the drummer and bass player thought that they had to audition. And I'm just what are you kidding me? I just want you guys. I remember we did our first band practice together and I brought them some songs, and then we all played together, and at the end of the day their bass player was so did we get the gig or whatever? And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't think anyone wanted to play with me at all. Like, and it's just been this really weird. I know I'm being super vague about a lot of it, but there's a lot of stuff I have to keep under wraps. But
understandable.
We're forming a publishing company now that is going to be releasing this music and sending it out to everywhere from all the college radio in the United States to all the commercial radio stations. We're going to try to get this music played on terrestrial radio, and we're going to try to get it actually like functioning as a real band. This isn't going to be like some internet band. Like we want to be doing something real and actual in the world, you know,
like
what I mean?
Touring. You actually want to tour the nation and the world.
So we want to be like a real functioning band playing at actual venues, not just conventions, not just like posting stuff online. Like, so that's one of the reasons why it's taking so long to get this thing going, is because we're setting up straight up like supply chains, publishing, like we're figuring out like how to plan tours, how to like, I've been doing all the
Salt Lake
management.
City. please.
we want to like go. We want to hit every state in the U.S. And actually, I have some radio stations. It's hard to find independent like radio shows in Utah. Yeah. I've found, like when I was doing all my like research stuff. Like there's a few spots in Utah, but you know what, Ben? Like I'm straight up gonna send out like copies of this thing everywhere, and like I already have a whole plan set to basically get this thing going in the California radio areas, and then like just spread that to the rest of the US, and fingers crossed for that. So that's why we're setting up a whole company for this thing, just so we can get this thing out properly, and maybe you guys will hear it on the radio. It would be really cool to be able to like, you know, tell you guys like, hey, turn it to this station in Utah, and like you'll hear our song. Like, and
I would love that.
That would be.
I would love to.
That'd be like I know that guy.
Yeah, like we interviewed him.
Like it would be cool to do that, right? Yeah,
it would be really cool.
Like it would be cool to, and even to have an act that like functions outside of like
the
conventions and subculture scenes and stuff, to be in this sort of mainstream world and bring that into like, sort of not bringing the mainstream into furry, but sort of people knowing something through the mainstream first and then finding out later that they also play these things, and that it's like, if they, I don't know, it could kind of bridge some gap. I don't know. I don't want to like overstate any cultural impact or anything on this sort of stuff, but I think having subculture, having people that are engaged in subcultures and sort of from very specific groups, like for instance, this is totally not intentional, but every single person in the band is a person of color, or is an ally, or has some sort of LGBTQIA affiliation, and like things like that aren't exactly at the forefront of who we are as a band, but things that, similar to being a furry, where it's like those are hopefully things that they would come to find secondary, but while sort of being able to function in this mainstream world and showing them that, like, you know, people from these groups have so much more to offer. And I feel like it could make things feel more tangible for people too. Like to be able to be out in the actual world.
I don't follow bands because their one member is just, you know, gay or lesbian or something like that. That's typically not something I look at. If they happen to be it, that's like, cool, great. But it's not like something I'm just like, oh, I'm going to follow them because they are this, or I'm going to follow them because they are furry. You know, I follow because they have good music or it's quality. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So exactly.
And I think that's why I never wanted to play into the furry thing, because I'm like, I want people to like it if it's good, not because it's not because I wrote another Suit Up.
Yeah.
Like, I love Suit Up. It's one of my favorite songs, but like, also I'm like, that's not the life I want to live.
That's interesting. Do you have any influences that play into Nervous Vulpus? Any influences outside of the fandom, possibly from like other bands?
I would say like the three things that come to mind. I put those days behind me. Oh man, no, I put my Diet White Stripes days behind me, but Like now I'm combination Diet Nirvana, My Chemical Romance, Foo Fighters, uh, Elton John influenced a little
Oh,
bit.
sweet.
I kind of just, it's kind of cool though, because like back when I was in the bare bones, like I was trying to be something else, and then I was just like, no, you just do whatever you already know how to do, like do that, like that's already different. And so like I always felt like, am I being too much like, I remember I would try to write like my chem, or write like Nirvana, or write like the White Stripes. I'm like, no, write how you do. It doesn't matter how you sing it, even if you bring the things that, like, because if people, we've covered a My Chem song at a show and people can clearly hear the parts of my singing voice that come from like just growing up on that, like just when My Chem is on, like that, those parts of my voice come out, like so things like that where people can definitely hear it, but just do it as you do, like, and it'll be just fine, like so the but I remember even just sort of being able to have this luxury of when we were in the studio, the people that were asking us like what kind of mics and stuff we wanted to use, we were able to get all the things from our influences like incorporated into there. I remember they were asking me even like, what kind of vocals do you like? And I was like, my benchmark good rock vocals would be Nirvana and Elton John. Those are two amazing different types of rock vocals. And then they built those perfect setups like in the studio. And like same thing with like the drums. They were like, well, I looked into the studio that we were recording at, and there was a Queens of the Stone Age album that I really liked that was recorded there specifically for the drum sound. So they got the engineer that did that album, and they were able to like set up the drums exactly to that, and then we tweaked it to our specifications, like things like that, where it was like there's a lot of people that are pulling a lot of little things to incorporate our influences. So I'm really excited that you guys are going to be able to at least hear those influences in the music, but in a way that is very much ours.
It's really interesting. So when I was listening, because when I was creating your questions, I like to kind of get in the headspace of like your music and like watching your guys' videos. But I was just listening to some of your demo tracks. One particular song came on called Running in Circles, and it was a completely like almost, it was just like a completely different tone, very subdued.
It's kind of out of left field.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere, and I was just like, what? And it was really weird because it kind of sounded like it was like this vintage, almost like old school radio kind of feel to it, but I really liked it. And I kind of want to know like what inspired you guys to create that specific song.
So that song came from, I really like that you got that feel out of it and that you thought about that song, because like the kind of idea behind it was like, at least on the demo version, was to kind of get the feel of like, if you were playing this song, like if you were the person singing this song alone in your room, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's kind of where all these songs came from. Like these are all really loud rockin' songs and stuff like that, but all of them came from just me sitting alone in my room with an acoustic guitar, writing down words and hoping they all work together. And they all just eventually got to become songs. Like these are like my babies, like, and I got to watch them grow into full-fledged songs. And so running in circles was just sort of a very reflective thing. It sort of talked about a lot of the feelings I had after leaving things behind that I'd worked hard on. It's a song a lot about moving on and sort of finding yourself. But as far as the actual sound of it, yeah, we really just wanted the listener to feel like that they were the one singing it and they were alone in their room, just kind of exactly how I wrote it. The studio version has a lot more ambient sounds and things. It sounds a little less old timey radio on there, but we still got that same kind of feeling to it. Like, and I think you guys are gonna, if you liked the demo version, I think you're gonna love the studio version, because that song was actually the one we put the most work into in the studio to make it sound like how we actually wanted it to. I guess as far as the inspiration for writing the song with the band, Like the first time I ever showed anyone that riff for Running in Circles, the opening riff for it, I played it for my guitar player, my friend Matt, and we were just sitting in the back of my car, and I just start playing this thing, and I was like, this was before the band existed or anything, and I was just like, hey, I have this thing, like, what do you think? Does it sound any good? And he was just like, keep that, hang on to it, like, record it, put it down somewhere, but don't forget it,
Yeah.
and like, and that's a lot of what having good bandmates is about, like, is when they can tell you to hang on to something, because they've done that for me a few times where I'm like, I'm just going to glaze over something and they'll say keep that, and it becomes a song. And it's just one of the most organic things, because that song was around for the longest and took the longest to finish, but it definitely kind of, the band's louder songs, the more rocking stuff, like, really gives you this catharsis, but like, it's nice to have a song like Running in Circles that kind of brings you back down to earth and gets you kind of, when you're up in the clouds feeling things, like, then you skydive back down into your room and kind of sit there and listen to the small radio at your desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of picture when I was listening to it, like, I kind of visualize it as like laying on the floor, laying, like, and like looking up and just kind of like daydreaming as I was listening to the song. That's kind of like how I visualized it. So
that's totally the kind of headspace that I was in when I was writing it, though. Like, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
That I'm really glad you connected to it that way, because that's very similar to how I was feeling like when I was writing that stuff. Like, a lot of it was just alone in my room, staring off into space, like, making sounds, and when it made sense, it made sense.
It's just like a little sense of escapism.
Oh yeah. It definitely takes you to another place, and that I hope that people get that out of the songs when they hear, especially when they hear the studio versions. They'll, whenever I'm allowed to send advance copies of the EP, then I'll send you guys an advance copy, and maybe we could talk about it sometime or something like that. But like, it's even if you guys just get to hear it, I want you both to hear it, like, it, especially because we're talking about Nervous Vulpus stuff and taking time to do that right now. Like,
I love it.
Whenever the studio stuff is available, I want to send you guys a copy.
Absolutely. When I was listening to it initially, like, Nervous Vulpus, there was like this, I don't really know how to explain the feeling, but being in the pandemic in general, it's just kind of like, it's been just really depressing, I'm sure, for everyone. So to listen to Nervous Vulpus and just to listen to the tracks, it gave me like the ability to, like what Boomy just kind of just said, to escape my reality for a moment. And I felt really happy. Like, it made me feel excited and happy for just the time that I was listening to that music. And I had like felt like that for a really long time. And that music was just so awesome. And so I was just like, I gotta send him a tweet. I gotta tell him, like, this music is amazing. So
that means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That really means a lot. Like, that it actually connected with you. Like, I've written a lot of things that no one's ever heard or no one ever really connected with, and like, I feel like we're doing something real with this band, and that's good reassurance that it's true. Like, I just want to do it honestly, you know what I mean?
And I've heard a lot of furry bands, like, well, I've heard a lot of, we'll say, furry musicians, but I've not heard passionate furry musicians in a long time. So it was really nice to actually hear like really good quality, passionate music, and it was like a real treat. You just don't see it.
Thank you.
Don't see it very often.
I really appreciate that. Like, that. I don't. That's how you know I'm struck, because I don't have words right now. Like, it's just like, all I have is wow and thank you. Like, that's really special. Thank you. Like, I hope that when the studio stuff comes out, that like, it still keeps that spirit. That's what I hope.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I have no doubt about it. We don't want to touch anymore. I wanted to keep it, as good as it is right there. And I'm sure Nervous Vulpus has way more to go. You know, I'm sure there's more surprises for us.
Oh, there
later
always
on,
will be.
and I cannot wait for that. Um, I did want to talk about your current YouTube channel that you have and kind of
Of
end on
course.
that note. You do now call that one Ace of Hearts Fox, so that one is now your current name, and it's
Yes.
not Defox, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yay! So what was really interesting is on your Wikiver page, it said that your new channel is known for like motivational advice videos, which is really interesting because I've not seen a Wikiver page say that about a furry YouTube page before. And
That's
when I
an
went to go,
oddly specific niche.
I know that was really interesting, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So when I went and looked at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could totally agree with this. Yeah, that seems about right. Um, when you were creating the channel, was that something you were specifically aiming for, or were you just kind of going for a different direction, but it just happened to go that way?
Um, Honestly, nothing about the channel has been calculated or intentional.
Nice.
Everything, and I think that's the great thing about literally anything creative that I do. I kind of just fall into it, is like, and then I just kind of go from there. Like, so the furry stuff, like the Fursuit Friday videos that I would do with all the advice and things, a lot of it was just anytime someone had asked me about something or anytime something was on my mind and I needed to sort it out, I would just make a video about it. So more or less the entire channel is anything where I'm just speaking about a topic, like it's really just a video diary of what I've been thinking about. Like so the content almost wrote itself. It was really, really nice to just be able to do what I felt like and talk about it and have people connect with that. And if that advice helped people, then it helped people. But yeah, a lot of it was just me walking myself through stuff.
Good, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I actually was watching, kind of brushing up on like your channel and whatnot. I was listening to it while I was like doing dishes and whatnot, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so like motivational. I'm like, I need to listen to him like a lot more. Like, so to be honest, I used to watch you and like listen to you like a lot more, and then unfortunately life kind of gets in the way, and I was
Such
like,
is life.
oh, I know, and then Space was like, hey, we are interviewing Ace,
No,
soon.
that's not how it happened.
Oh,
That's
no.
not how it happened. No, let me just say how it.
You didn't go,
She
"Hey."
literally, she's like, "Are you really going to be interviewing Ace of Hearts Fox?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the process of scheduling." And she's like, "Oh my god!"
I was excited.
So initially, I was gonna have Bean do the interview with me, but I'm like, you know what? I haven't had Boomy on an interview with me yet, especially with the guest interview, and she's a fan. Let's bring her on. This would be fun for her. So,
Oh, then I'm so glad that you got to be on this one.
I
It's
am
the perfect one
yeah.
to get your feet wet.
Yep, I was
yep.
pretty excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Stace.
You're doing a
I
good
love him.
job.
Oh,
You're doing
thank
great.
you.
You're doing great.
But yeah, so yeah, that
You're
is
playing a
kinda how it happened.
perfect support on this. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But you really
gotta
are
learn
like super,
somehow.
like motivational.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
One of your videos that I found really interesting, and I actually made it some bullet points on them. I kind of wanted to go over them. It was the 10 tips for making friends in the furry fandom. So I'm a huge fan of that video, specifically about 4 things that you went over, because these are things I'm just like, praise Jesus. Like, thankfully, someone says something about it. I did also try to search on YouTube for anyone else who tried to do a comparison or tried to do a video of this. And although there were other furry YouTubers that did do something similar to this and they were on years later, yours still is pretty, I mean, it still seems very current. It seems very, up. I mean, it was done years ago, but it still like seems like it was done up to date.
I'm glad the info still holds up.
Yeah, it's aged very well. And I think it's actually a lot, and I still, in my opinion, I think it's better than others. So
Wow.
I think it's been done well. Well, what I liked about it is you appear in it, you talk in it, whereas others are just animations or it's monotone voices, and I hate monotone. Ugh, I hate monotone. So
Just gotta move your voice up and down, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And move your hands and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But the things that I really found interesting is that the way that you phrased tip number 4, which was friendship takes time to cultivate.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really interesting because it is true. Friendship takes it's not something that's instantaneous. And I think that's something that a lot of younger furs kind of get disappointed with at the beginning because they assume that, oh, I made a friend and they're going to be friends forever. But that's not usually the case. And it takes hard work to become friends with people, and it takes conversations and days and weeks, and
especially online.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like that you said that, and I'm like, thank you, people need to know this.
Yeah. And you know what, like, and it can be really tough when you have to explain it to someone. So I'm glad that you at least like noticed that when it was on there. So maybe someone else who might need to hear that, like, hey, and not even it's hard to explain to someone in a way that doesn't feel like you're criticizing them, or being mean or anything like that, where it's just like, hey, we're not as close as you think we are. And it's not that, like, you know, it's not that I don't like you or dislike you or anything like that. It's just like, I just don't know you yet. And having a sense of understanding, hit my mic, having a sense of understanding, of like what it actually takes to build a friendship, like it at least like sets up people to not have those difficult conversations, and it's just one less thing people have to get through, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having that conversation with people preemptively is hopefully helped people at least understand that, like, no, this is just a totally normal thing. It takes time to get to know people.
Yeah, it does. It's like dating. It takes time.
Yeah, you're not gonna. It's not gonna be love at first sight.
It's not The Bachelor. Okay.
But what about the rose? Did that mean nothing?
God, can you imagine? Oh God, I can't even only imagine.
Have any seasons of The Bachelor ever had the relationship actually work out?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because I think they've all ended in like divorce or something. Like 6 months later, and it's always like private, or like
there's always some revelation
like
about someone.
Yeah, and then it's always made like a big deal of it. It's so stupid.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yes. Tip number 6. I thought that was really interesting. So I know you don't like to be called a poppy fur, so I won't call you a poppy fur, and I won't call you a celebi fur, even though that one sounds better.
Is that a thing people say?
No, that's something I say. I hate the term poppy fur. I think it's like every time I hear it, I feel degraded. So
it feels like a derogatory term at this point.
Yeah, so if you say celebi fur, it sounds better. It sounds more
I've never heard that before. I was like, is that the thing that's caught on and I'm just out of, because it's totally entirely possible that I'm out of the loop. I'm such a
No, I've never heard anyone say it. But it's just something that I've said, and it just makes me feel a little bit better, just because it doesn't sound as grody.
Hey, Boom, it's trying to make Celebufer happen.
There you go. Hashtag Celebufer. There you go. But it was really interesting to have a known furry say specifically, don't befriend people just because they're popular.
Oh, yeah.
I thought was really interesting.
Well, and it's something that I know that a lot of my other friends that do the whole creator thing, like they've dealt with that too, where like it, and it's really easy for people to pretty innocently too feel like they know people through a screen, like, and it's pretty easy for people to like, it's pretty easy for people to feel like they know this person, when they really, really have never met them, like, even if you interact with them on a regular basis. And then there's the very innocent aspect of that, where like people are befriending someone who's popular just because they interact with them on a regular basis and don't quite understand that boundary. Luckily, I have a lot of really, really, really cool viewers on my Twitch page that I do get along with really regularly, but they understand that, like, I'm performing for you guys and you guys are watching and we're in this together, but they understand my boundaries and they're super respectful. But then there's definitely people that will seek out someone who's popular for one reason or another, whether it's to advance themselves, and I've been taken advantage of in that way before, where I've helped people out with things and that didn't work out or things like that. So it really over time kind of makes a lot of creators really antisocial, because like they've had enough times where they've had people either use them for popularity or they try to be friends with them because they have this preconceived idea of who they are based on what they've seen online. Like they just any number of those things, like completely eliminate that sort of thing. Like, and it's funny because like when I'm with my friends that are creators or anything or doing anything cool, like I don't like, even when I'm first meeting them, like I don't really talk about what they do. I just talk to them like a person, and like that tends to work out a million times better. Like, and there are some people I still get starstruck by and things like that, and I become an awkward as hell weirdo. Like, I'm guilty of it. Yeah. So like, if you do get awkward sometimes, don't feel like that's just you. Like, I do it too. Like, I get awkward sometimes, but like, never ever seek out friendship with someone just because of who you think they are. Whether the end goal of that is to work with them, be more popular because of that, anything like that. I have tons of friends that are way more popular than I am, but they're just my pals.
And it's interesting too, like from a podcast standpoint, I don't like writing people's coattails, and although that is part of the move of being a podcast, sometimes you need to get your foot in the door.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, Space.
Yeah. Sometimes you do need just that one person to kind of get you in so that you can get that exposure. And I absolutely hate that because I don't want to use them for that aspect. I want to use them for the genuine conversation.
But that's the thing too, is like, if you're ever doing something and the person legitimately wants to be part of it, like how I am today, like, you know, then
exactly. There's a difference.
Should be no skin off your back. Should be no skin off your back. Like you shouldn't worry about if you're going in it with honest intention, then don't ever worry about coming off as dishonest.
I keep a very small, close, tight knit of friends, and I like it that way. I prefer it that way.
It helps to like, you know, I'm glad that you, at least you're like, you have the self-awareness to be like, I vibe with this person. I don't particularly vibe with this person, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, and like, you know, when you click with people, you do. It's kind of like when y'all messaged me initially to do the podcast. I forget what we even said, like, but there was at some point where it's just like, well, the ice is already broken here. Like, we had some sort of interaction, and it's just like, well, as long as we're already talking, you want to do this? Yeah, sure. Like, and it's just so much easier that way than if like I got an email and it was like, hi, I'm from this podcast and I do this. Can I pitch you this idea? And it's just like,
so awkward. It's because I think it's because you had said something and I totally didn't realize. I was just like having a real space moment, which is literally what we call it, is a space moment. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe what I... And I'm like, well, now that the ice is broken. And that's where we went from there.
As long as we're already at the same room party, let's talk.
Yeah, you know, since, you know, you've already caught me with my pants down, let's just go for it now. Just kidding.
Wow.
Damn. It's just... I know that's number one. Sorry, that was a little bit more visual, but yeah, I thought that was actually really interesting.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
and that brings us actually really. That's a good segue to tip number 8 about starting a real conversation.
Yes.
Yes.
That is, you make such a good point of starting a real conversation, because you make a good point. It's like people just say hi, how are you, rar, and I'm just like, I'm not answering you.
Yeah, it's just
I'm not acknowledging you.
Yeah,
just like not raw with me.
I have zero investment in that conversation, and there's no reason for me to put anything into it. Like, I know that sounds so like choosy and like, you know, but it's just when people only have 24 hours in the day, they got to do something with it that actually is important in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Like dead end conversations are just like not a thing that anyone, popular or not, is going to invest their time into. And that's the part that I feel like is kind of people get a bum rap on that, where it's just like sometimes popular people like that I hate like saying that, like, but like, you know, they do get a lot of DMs and stuff like that, and then they do have to be kind of choosy with like how they spend their time messaging people. I barely have time to message my friends. Like, I'm notoriously difficult to get a hold of. Like, my friends will message me with the expectation it's going to take at least a day or two to get back.
Oh my God, that's how it is with my friend Rue.
Anytime like a friend of mine is going to be in like Southern California area, they'll let me know like a month in advance. Because awesome. Like they're like, either he's going to like get back to me right away and we'll plan this in advance and he'll move his schedule around, or he's going to forget about it for like about a week or two, notice there's an unread message, see it, freak out, and then plan it. Like, but either way, there's just this like nice little buffer. Like all of my friends have that understanding, and that's like something that, unfortunately, I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to be better about like getting back to people, but like it's kind of funny sometimes when like I make a new friend or whatever, like at a convention or whatever, and they try to like message me on Discord, and like they'll ask one of my other friends, like, is Ace kind of hard to get a hold of? And they'll just kind of be like, you're new here, aren't you? Like, oh.
It's not like, I mean, I do that too. It's not like I'm not purposely ghosting people. It's just that I just totally forget to get back to them, or B, like, I'm notorious for not answering emails right away on from our email, and I'll go in there and be like, shit, there's 5 emails in there. Crap. And I'll go in there.
Almost like
so bad.
This is like an ADHD thing, but like, yeah, I have the hardest time responding to emails and doing emails. Like, it's and like, I remember I almost screwed up my first ever guest of honor invitation by not responding to emails in time. Like, that's how bad I am about it. Like, and thank God for my freaking partner Clocky getting my shit together, like, to be like, you need to respond to this. Like you need to take care of this. And like, I felt so bad because for a while they were basically my secretary, like managing me, but they're like, you need to do this yourself. And like, you're right. So but at least that kind of set off the chain reaction to where like now I pretty much, I manage myself and I manage my band now, and I pretty much got my shit together. But like I still have trouble responding to friends. I'm pretty good at responding to work now. Still awful at responding to friends.
Which, I mean, hey, at least you're working on it. That's the good thing.
Yeah, it's a process. I'm a work in progress, but everyone is. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best.
God.
You're like,
that gets
live,
us...
laugh, love it.
And that brings us to our last tip for number 10, which is quality over quantity.
Yes.
So if answering your emails now is becoming a better thing, that means you're now focusing on quality over than.
Yeah. I used to try to maintain lots and lots of friendships, and I ended up being really bad at it. Like, I spread myself too thin. I was faltering in like every area. So I'm slowly but surely working on that. But yeah, definitely quality over quantity. Like, and this goes for friends you might already have too, is like, sometimes you need to assess the quality of the people in your life. Like, and I remember for the longest time, I had not been through the process of like not being friends with someone anymore. I thought that was like the most devastating thing that could happen. But like, pretty much around DeBox falling apart was the first time I really experienced a true explosion of fallout from a friendship ending, like, and from like relationships ending. You really need to like think about what these people are bringing into your life. In hindsight, I remember at the moment it felt awful. I was like losing people and stuff like that. But in hindsight, I'm like, dude, like, you needed to grow. You needed to outgrow those people. I remember even talking to my therapist at one point, where like, the girl I was dating at the time was telling me like what happened to this boy that I fell in love with and all this stuff. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and he just looked at me and he's like, he grew up like it's fine. It's okay. He grew up. Like, so really quality over quantity. Like, assess the quality of the people in your life and the quality of what you're bringing into their life. And I've had to do lots of growing, like, and there's still things that I'm trying to fix about myself. But that's kind of like a lot of what the song Better from Nervous Vulpus is about. The main line from that song is, let's try to leave this world a little bit better. And that that works on two levels, but like it works in a it works in a way that it's like whatever you're thinking about though at the time. Like the song can either be to you that the world needs to improve, or that you need to improve before you're gone from the world.
So that kind of actually brings us to our last question.
Wow,
right?
Wow.
So we had our last guest that we interviewed was Paco Panda, and we asked him to give us some advice or have him give advice to our listeners. And he did something that none of our guests in the past have ever done before, which is he spoke from the heart. And so rather than you giving advice about something technical about music or something, if you could speak from the heart, what advice would you give anyone listening who might need a little bit of positivity today?
I would say for anyone listening right now, if you're going through something where you feel like you do need some positivity in your life, if you're just hoping that something is going to pass, I can speak from personal experience to let you know that even if something feels like it's going to feel that way forever, that it's not going to. Even if everything in your mind is telling you that something is going to be any one way forever, you absolutely have it in yourself to make the choice to make it not so. You can change those things, and even if it feels like you can't, it's something that you're going to be able to figure out. There are so many things that you're going to run into, even after whatever you're going through right now, that are going to feel like forever. But I promise they're not. You're going to figure it out if you find that in yourself. But it's there, I promise.
That is well spoken.
I hope that was okay.
No, it's good. It's good. It's actually something I need.
Oh man,
It's free advice for me. I
For
lost
any podcast hosts listening out there.
Well, I lost a friend last summer in the pandemic, and so it's been really hard. I haven't been able to properly grieve, and so I've just been trying to figure out a way to move past it. And so it's getting better each day, but it's just, I know that it's not going to be like this in the future. It's just taking time, and I'm not forcing it. I'm not forcing myself to get over it right away, but I know, I keep telling myself it's going to be okay. You're going to move on, and it happened, and it's okay. So,
and even if you don't, even if you're never going to forget that person, and that's the beauty of it. And and when you move on, you're never going to forget what happened, but I promise that the memory of it will not always feel the same way it does.
And I've lost friends before, and I've gotten past it, and I have really great memories of them. So, and it doesn't bother me as this one did. So eventually I will get over it. And so I know that our listeners will be able to get over it too eventually.
Well, no, actually, what you were talking about with your friend about you still have all these happy memories that I completely relate with that. One of my friends that passed away, I was thinking about them the other week, telling my partner Clocky, I'm going to have a kind of a weird day today. And they were like, okay. And then they were like, want to talk about it? No. And then it wasn't even about what happened with him. It was just she was like, just tell me about him. And I told her stories and things like that. And next thing I know, I'm laughing about a story with him. And and then I love that that's the first thing my mind goes to now. Not that I'm so sad that he's not here. The first thing that I think of with him is the stories.
Good old days.
Yeah. And the immediate thought that I get from him is smiling.
Got to think of the positive. Can't
Yeah.
always focus on the negative because that's not going to get you anywhere, unfortunately.
But always accept the negative. Accept the negative.
That is hard to do, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Definitely a big pill to swallow.
Yeah, especially right now with everything going on. Well, I know.
That was a heck of an emotional episode, gang.
I know, but it was a really good one. It was fun. You had a lot of really good motivational points. It went everywhere, and I loved it. And
it was so nice to chat with you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to do so.
You are both very, very welcome.
And when you do eventually publish and you do have more stuff to talk about, we definitely want to have you back so we can.
I would love to come talk your ear off about that stuff. Yes.
So we can continue to talk more and side tangent more again, because that was lots of fun.
That'll give me like a businessy excuse to actually send the podcast an advance copy, then, because it's like, no, we're talking about the EP.
Woo! Fun.
Ace of Hearts Part 2, the Royal Flush.
Well, I'm going to give you the moment to tell our listeners where they can find you, if you want to go ahead and just advertise yourself real quick.
Oh, yeah. I always forget to advertise myself. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to hear more from me, whether that's music or just talking or whatever, you can check me out on YouTube or Twitch, both of those, /Ace of Hearts Fox. Like anywhere on any platform, if it's the username is Ace of Hearts Fox, that's me. So whether it's Twitch, YouTube, or we also have our Nervous Vulpus stuff. We're on SoundCloud. So it's soundcloud.com/nervousvulpus. You can find our demo tracks there. All of those are demo tracks that we recorded in our rehearsal space. And if you guys even like those a little bit, then I promise you're going to love the studio stuff, because it actually sounds like a real band. And I don't say that lightly. Like it sounds like that was the first thing we said when we finished it, it's like, it sounds like a real band. But so if Nervous Vulpus for all the music, Ace of Hearts Fox for all the furry stuff, and for live streams on Twitch. So thanks again, you guys. Thank you both for having me. It was really nice to meet and hang out with both of you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.